G'day, it's Doc Joe here from StoryWeaver Games, and if you're a StoryWeaver fan, you're probably saying, where have you been, Joe? 2020, you just disappeared. And yes, we did disappear for pretty much all of 2020, and that was intentional. As everyone knows, 2020 was, what they say, a challenging year, but it was an absolute shit of a year. Let's be honest about it. And for us, in some ways, it was particularly bad because we got hit not just with COVID, but the whole range of other issues. And we made the decision early on that we needed to focus on those issues and resolving them rather than trying to rush out with a game that might be underpriced or underproduced or whatever. So we really pride ourselves on quality. So we made the decision, slam the brakes on, go quiet, take care of what needs to be taken care of, and then we can come back to StoryWeaver. And that's exactly what we've done. The good news is, we're back. StoryWeaver's back 2021, or as we like to say, hashtag SWB21. Look at the hashtag. We will be using it. But let me tell you about some of the things that have happened. So first of all, what's happened to Slaughter? Well, the Kickstarter just missed out, and that's okay. I mean, that's part of doing the whole Kickstarter thing. We got into a discussion with a US company about them taking that Kickstarter and running it for us in the US. And at first that seemed like a really, really good plan. Then things started getting, well, I got bad feels, let's put it that way. Things just weren't working to the extent which I would have liked them to. So then we said, well, okay, let's look at trying to fund this completely via a straight print run in China, because we were wanting to not only print Slaughter in China, but a whole bunch of other products as well. And at that point, we started really seeing some challenges around trying to confirm our costs due to the US-China trade war. And that was really becoming a challenge for us. Now, we're a small organization. We do self-funding up front, but we're not super rich people here. So we made the decision that the risks were increasing and increasing and increasing. So we'd have to figure out a different way of doing our production. In other words, going back to pod. So at that stage, we were sort of getting our heads around what we were going to do, how we were going to reprice everything. And then COVID hit. And COVID absolutely knocked the crap out of everybody. I've had colleagues who've lost family members to COVID. My sister-in-law has contracted it and is still very ill. I've known multiple people, some of our fans, who have passed away from it. As we know, this is a disease which is just, it doesn't discriminate. So we said, well, given what COVID is, the horror of COVID, do we really want to publish a horror game? And the answer to that was, I think it's probably safer to wait. So we put Slaughter completely on hold. In fact, we put pretty much everything on hold at that point. And we just said, we'll wait to see what happens. But wait, that's not all. Then the year got worse. Unfortunately, my wife was run down by a car and was put in hospital for quite an extended period of time. And she is still recovering. She's an incredibly strong-willed woman, and her recovery is going well, but it's going to take a long time. And that's the sort of situation where you go, okay, I just need to focus 100% on my wife. I think you all would understand the reason for that. So that delayed our thinking about StoryWeaver even further. The good news is we have got incredible, just amazing healthcare in Australia with wonderful professionals, and it's all socialized healthcare. So that's where my tax dollars go. So thank you. I'm happy to pay tax if I get such great medical care for my beautiful wife. So that's the year to date. It's been pretty awful. So coming out of 2020, we got the gang together again and we said, what do we do? COVID's not such a huge issue for us. We can get together occasionally. We're not going to manufacture in China because it's just too risky. What do we do? How do we reprioritize? So we stepped back and we looked at what we had to offer the market and what we were going to offer when, because we'd actually got a bunch of games ready to go. They've been ready for a while. We just had to put them on hold. So we've decided we're going to put Slaughter, because we're still not totally happy with how we're going to launch that. We've put that out probably to middle of the year. But what we have brought forward is Rapture. Now, Rapture is a wonderful game. It's a dark horror science fiction game, really, really hard science meets dark horror, that we published 15 years ago. And we updated the rules about 3-4 years ago, but we couldn't find a printing system, certainly not a short-run printing system, of a high enough quality to print it, because the thing is beautiful. On top of that, Ray produced a couple of years ago this incredible book called The Confucius Initiative, which is a world book, and it's literally dozens and dozens and dozens of story ideas and story seeds to play in the Wrapped universe. And it is so detailed. It's just glorious. Since those books are ready, and now pod technology has caught up to the quality that we want, we've decided that we're going to launch this first, and we're going to do it as a small, low-cost Kickstarter. And you will be seeing that fairly soon. Certainly in the next 2 months, you'll see a Kickstarter page start to come up. So we're going back and launching Rapture first and foremost with the Confucius Initiative and a whole bunch of other products. So look for that. That takes us to Slaughter. Well, with Slaughter, it's pretty clear we're not going to be able to do a big boxed set edition. It's just too cost intensive upfront for a small organization like ours to put money there. And even with a Kickstarter, the risks are too high because of the huge number of unknowns. So what we're thinking of doing, and we will seek feedback, is we're going to break it up into a bunch of smaller, if you will, almost like collectible modules that you can just buy. Probably pod. Again, pod quality has increased leaps and bounds in the last couple of years. And that means that you can pick and choose what you want. So Slaughter is complete in terms of a game system. It's just we're trying to figure out how to package it at the right price for all of you. And the last thing is high space. Now, there's a lot of high space fans saying, hey, what's happened to high space? Well, just before COVID, we had completed not one, but 2 complete story arcs set in the high space universe. And these aren't just single modules. They're about 12. I think one of them is 12 and the other one's 8. So there's a whole story arc ready to rock and roll and be rolled out to you folks. Originally, we were going to have them printed again along with the Slaughter, that whole packaging. We were just going to print it all in bulk. That's off the tables now, so it'll probably go to pod as well. However, we'll probably release 3, 4, maybe even more of those adventures to the high space community, free of charge in a digital fashion sometime in the next couple of months. So keep an eye open for those. It's all set in the fringe worlds, leading you to finding out what happened in the Lantern, what that big disaster was. And then the next series is you get into the Lantern and start things really go downhill. So that'll be a lot of fun for you. So all in all, StoryWeaver is actually in very good shape in terms of content. We've got amazing finished products. We now just need to bring them to you. So that's what we'll be focusing over the next, probably next 12 months. I do thank you for your patience. And I do appreciate all the emails that we've received. So thank you so much to all of you. You're an incredible group of people. And I hope that your year has not been as tragic as it has been for many people. And I hope that you continue to stay well and safe. Thank you. StoryWeaver's back 21. Cheers.